God says this night has been chosen for your miracle. Archangel Michael is in tears begging you to open this before heaven passes you by. My child, my beloved, do not turn away from this moment. Do not let your heart become distracted, not even for a second, because this is no ordinary message. Heaven has been watching you, whispering your name again and again into the night sky. And now, yes, now, my dear one, something has shifted. I, Archangel Michael, have been permitted to speak this directly into your spirit because there is a portal that has just opened for you. This night, yes, this very night, has been hand-selected by the divine hand of God for your miracle. Not tomorrow, not next week. This is the moment the heavens have aligned, and it will not wait. You have carried burdens that were never yours to bear. You've wept silently behind smiles. You've questioned whether your prayers even reached past the ceiling. But beloved, I am here to tell you they did. Every word, every tear, every midnight whisper into your pillow was seen, was felt, and is now moving something so big, so glorious behind the veil, that if you truly understood it, you would fall to your knees in awe. But there's a warning in my heart. If you do not open your spirit now, this divine opportunity may slip past you like wind between your fingers. Before you read further, I ask you with love and urgency, subscribe now to this divine channel where heaven continues to speak to you. Do not let another message pass without your soul being tuned in. God doesn't want to lose you. Neither do I. My beloved, my child, the reason I'm crying today is because I see how close your miracle is. And yet I also see the enemy circling. I see the moment you'll either rise in full power or shrink in fear. I see the door that's already cracked open, and I see the hands of those trying to shut it behind your back. Listen to me carefully. This is not a test. This is not a coincidence. This is your appointed time. I don't say that lightly. I don't say that to everyone. I say that to you because your destiny has been under attack and heaven is responding. God has placed something with your name written on it in golden script, but it must be accepted tonight. That's why I'm pleading. That's why I'm on my knees in the spirit crying out your name before the throne. Do you not know how valuable you are? Do you not see that heaven has never stopped fighting for you? My heart trembles with the intensity of what's coming your way. Not just blessings, but a life-altering shift that could heal what generations before you never could. But it requires your yes, not tomorrow, tonight. My child, my beloved, what if I told you someone in the heavenly realm is still praying for you? Someone who left this earth thinking they had failed, but their last prayer was about you. What if I told you their words reached God and tonight is the night that prayer gets answered, but only if your heart remains open? There's a reason you're seeing this. You didn't find this message by accident. You didn't click out of boredom or curiosity. You were drawn here. Your spirit is responding before your mind even understands what's happening. That's because your miracle is spiritual first and physical second. There's a sound in the realm of light that has your frequency, and it's calling you into alignment. But child, if you skip, if you scroll, if you ignore this sacred moment, then heaven will have no choice but to pass the blessing to another. I don't want that to happen. I am begging with everything in me. Stay. Stay and let the miracle unfold. Stay and let your name be carried to the throne tonight. My child, my beloved, you were never meant to carry this much alone. You were never meant to go this far without comfort. Heaven has been watching you, not with judgment, but with divine sorrow, because so many around you have failed to understand the weight you carry. But tonight, something will shift in your favor. The sky has already begun to move. Something sacred is unfolding just beneath your reality, and I have been commanded to bring you this message before it passes. The scroll that contains your name is still open, but it won't remain open forever. There is a time limit, a divine moment that only comes once in a season. And child, that moment is this night. If you walk away, you may never understand what you've lost until it's already in the hands of someone else. Do not delay. Do not let fear or doubt close your spirit. My beloved, I must tell you the truth. There is someone who tried to stop this miracle from reaching you. Yes, there is a force that has studied your name, your pattern, your dreams. They whispered lies into the ears of those around you, trying to block the support you needed. But heaven has overturned it. What was stolen will now be returned. The blessing that was rerouted is coming back around. But this time it is coming with speed and with fire and with favor that no human hand can block again. That's why I am crying. That's why I am trembling, because I know what is coming for you and I know what will be missed if you let this moment pass. God has already said, I have signed it in their name. Deliver it now. Let no demon touch it. This message is the knock on your spiritual door. Will you open it before it disappears? My child, my beloved, there is a man talking about you right now in the spirit realm. He is stunned by the light that surrounds your name. He once ignored you, once doubted you, once believed you were ordinary. But now he has been shown the truth, and he is desperate to make things right. But I must warn you, he is not the only one watching. Heaven is watching. Angels are watching, but so are those who wish you delay. Your blessing is surrounded, but God is clearing the path. That is why I was sent. That is why your spirit felt pulled to this message, like a magnet. You were not imagining that pull. You were not imagining that flutter in your heart. That was me. That was your angel. That was your miracle whispering, please don't leave now, my child, my beloved. There is a man talking about you right now in the spirit realm. He is stunned by the light that surrounds your name. He once ignored you, once doubted you, once believed you were ordinary, but now he has been shown the truth, and he is desperate to make things right. But I must warn you, he is not the only one watching. Heaven is watching, angels are watching, but so are those who wish you delay. Your blessing is surrounded, but God is clearing the path. That is why I was sent. That is why your spirit felt pulled to this message like a magnet. You were not imagining that pull. You were not imagining that flutter in your heart. That was me. That was your angel. That was your miracle whispering. Please don't leave now. I see your name written in gold. I see the place your feet are about to walk into. And beloved, it is bigger than you dared ask for. You thought your time had passed. You believed the miracle belonged to someone else. But God was silent, because he was preparing something specific for you. Something tailor-made. A job you didn't apply for. A house you didn't know was being built. A connection you thought had ended forever. All of it has been kept behind the veil, waiting for this night, waiting for this moment when heaven would open the scroll and call you by name. That time is now. That voice calling you is real. And this moment has been chosen for your miracle. Not your neighbor, not your friend. You who have suffered quietly. You who have prayed even when it felt like the answers were silent. You who never stopped believing. My child, my beloved, there is someone you lost, someone in heaven who has been asking for you. This person has pleaded with the angels to let you know that they are still with you, that they never stopped watching over you. They saw your tears. They saw your heartbreak. They saw the moment you almost gave up, and they've been whispering into the ears of heaven on your behalf. Do you know what happens when a soul in heaven speaks your name before the throne? It creates ripples across dimensions. It shifts things in ways no human effort can. And tonight, because of that soul, because of their unshaken love for you, heaven has decided to intervene. Archangel Michael has been dispatched. The message has been delivered. But now it is your turn to answer. Will you open your hands? Will you say yes before it disappears? Beloved, I don't often use these words, but I must now. This is urgent. I feel the pressure in the spirit. I feel the tension between your miracle and the force that is still trying to stop it. You have been running in circles not because you are lost, but because your blessing was delayed. But now the delay has ended. I am sent to tell you the divine hour has arrived, and the enemy is terrified. Because when you receive what is being sent to you tonight, everything that was meant to destroy you will be reversed. The plans against your life will collapse. Your name will rise like the morning sun, and those who mocked you will be silenced by your breakthrough. This is not fantasy. This is not imagination. This is holy, and this is real. My child, my beloved, do not hesitate. Every delay is a risk. Every distraction is a danger. There is a reason the enemy has been trying to exhaust you. Why certain people in your life have been strangely distant. Why your energy feels low and your faith is being tested. It's because something powerful is approaching your life and the spiritual realm knows it. When heaven plans a release, the darkness trembles. And beloved, the tremble has already begun. The demons are scattering. The curses are breaking. The spiritual chains are falling apart, and you must not skip this moment. If you miss this call, you may end up chasing something that already belongs to you. Now, my beloved, tonight is not an ordinary night. I cannot say this loudly enough. This is one of the rare moments in your divine timeline where heaven is not just watching, but acting. There are certain moments when God says, "Now is the time. Send the angel. Break the cycle. Deliver the reward." And child, that's what this is. You have reached that rare alignment. You have walked through enough fire. You have passed the invisible tests. Even when you doubted yourself, heaven did not. And now the miracle that once seemed like a distant promise is at your door. But here is the catch. It will not knock twice. My child, my beloved, you have no idea how many things were meant to go wrong for you, but didn't. You don't know the number of times heaven blocked something in silence. You never saw the car that should have swerved. You never met the person who was sent to destroy you but missed you by a second. You don't hear the conversations the enemy had about you behind closed doors, but I did. I was there. I have been your shield. I have stood between you and destruction more times than you could imagine. And tonight, yes, tonight I am here once more, but not to block, not to fight, not to warn. I am here to deliver. I come holding something in my hands with your name written across it in fire, and I am weeping because I know that if you open this now, your life will never be the same again. But I am also afraid that distraction, fear, or doubt will pull you away before you receive it. Don't let that happen. Don't let the thief steal your moment. My child, my beloved, I need you to listen carefully. Not with your ears, but with your spirit. A door has just been opened, and it's not just any door. It is a divine portal designed just for you. Heaven doesn't open this often. The spiritual world has waited for your alignment. You were delayed for a reason. Everything that didn't happen before now, that was not punishment. That was preparation. The wrong relationships had to fall apart. The delays in finances, the closed doors, the silence. It was not because you were forgotten. It was because the weight of the blessing you were meant to carry required a strength that could only be birthed through waiting. But the wait is over. The countdown has begun. And now, child, if you open your hands, if you say yes tonight, you will see something beyond logic. Something not meant for human effort, but divine acceleration. My child, my beloved, I need you to listen carefully, not with your ears, but with your spirit. A door has just been opened. And it's not just any door. It is a divine portal designed just for you. Heaven doesn't open this often. The spiritual world has waited for your alignment. You were delayed for a reason. Everything that didn't happen before now, that was not punishment. That was preparation. The wrong relationships had to fall apart. The delays in finances, the closed doors, the silence. It was not because you were forgotten. It was because the weight of the blessing you were meant to carry required a strength that could only be birthed through waiting. But the wait is over. The countdown has begun. And now, child, if you open your hands, if you say yes tonight, you will see something beyond logic. Something not meant for human effort, but divine acceleration. You've always been different. Haven't you felt it? Even as a child, you sensed things others couldn't. You were more sensitive, more burdened, more intuitive. People misunderstood you, called you too emotional, too intense, too deep. But that depth was never your weakness. It was your divine design. You were carved out for something higher. And now heaven is rewarding that design. I've seen the heavens review your name. I've heard God himself say, they have waited, they have endured. Now show them what I can do in a night. And child, when God chooses a night for your breakthrough, the world cannot stop it, unless you do. My beloved, my child, there is a man, a woman, a connection that was once broken, but it was not the end. Heaven has preserved that relationship. God hid it from your reach, so the enemy couldn't poison it. But now restoration is being activated. You will hear from them again. You will see something you had lost all hope and suddenly breathe again. But you must be ready, because what's coming is not soft. It's strong. It's fast. It's intense. And it's going to require your full attention. That's why I beg you, stay here. Keep your spirit focused. Don't skip. Don't scroll. Don't close this until it's complete. This is your moment, and I do not want to see it pass you by like a wave you were too tired to ride. My beloved, God has whispered to me things I have never heard before about you. I was shown a vision of your home filled with joy. I saw your face glowing, laughing, surrounded by a peace that cannot be bought and a kind of abundance that doesn't run dry. I saw the enemy outside your gate, frustrated, blocked, powerless. I saw financial doors swing wide. I saw someone bringing you a gift, one you didn't ask for but always needed. And I was told, this is the night where the seed will be planted that births all of it. And I was told to tell you that if you obey the call, if you open your heart tonight, your name will echo through the realms and your story will be used to inspire others who thought they had been forgotten. My child, my beloved, the spiritual world is louder tonight than you can imagine. The veil is thinner. The voices are stronger. Prayers are moving like fire, like wind, like thunder across the skies. And yours is among them. Heaven is not ignoring you. Heaven is waiting for your yes. Your yes is more powerful than you know. One yes can shift generations. One moment of surrender can undo years of pain. And your moment is now. Will you walk away from this divine encounter? Or will you stand like the chosen one you are and receive it? There is a document in the spiritual realm, a decree sealed in light. It says approved, anointed, appointed, released. And next to those words is your name, not in ink, but in radiant gold. God himself placed his signature beside it. But there is one last condition before it enters your physical world. You must not walk away from this moment. You must believe even when it doesn't make sense. You must trust even when the evidence isn't there yet. Because the miracle is already released, it is only waiting for your heart to receive it. My child, my beloved, there is something I must tell you now that cannot be delayed. While you have been praying and waiting, there has been a meeting in heaven about your life. Yes, beloved, heaven has meetings, decisions are made, schedules are set, destinies are reviewed, and recently the angels gathered. The scrolls were opened and your name was spoken out loud before the throne of God. Not just whispered, not mentioned in passing, spoken with intensity, with divine authority. God said, this one has waited. This one has remained faithful. This one has walked through the valley of shadows and still lifted their eyes to the light. This one must now receive what was delayed. And beloved, when God says it is time, there is no power in the universe that can hold it back. But there is one thing that can still delay it. Your decision. Will you receive it? Will you open yourself fully to the blessing that's being released right now? Because this is not a blessing that lingers. It is passing through like a sacred wind. It is ready for you, but only if you move in the moment heaven calls. My beloved, I need to share with you something the enemy never wanted you to know. There was a conversation in the dark, a plot designed to break you before this day arrived. It was not just bad luck, it was not coincidence, it was warfare, spiritual warfare. You may have thought you were just tired, anxious, confused, but it was deeper than that. There was a coordinated effort to make you give up right before your appointed season began, because hell knew what heaven was planning. The darkness saw what was written about you and trembled, and that's why everything suddenly went silent. That's why people walked away. That's why you felt like giving up, because your miracle was closer than it had ever been. And the enemy always attacks what is rising. But guess what? You survived. You're still here. And your miracle is not canceled. It's now rushing toward you like a flood of light. Heaven is restoring everything the enemy tried to bury, but only if you choose to receive it before the door closes. My child, my beloved, I need to share with you something the enemy never wanted you to know. There was a conversation in the dark, a plot designed to break you before this day arrived. It was not just bad luck. It was not coincidence. It was warfare, spiritual warfare. You may have thought you were just tired, anxious, confused, but it was deeper than that. There was a coordinated effort to make you give up right before your appointed season began. Because hell knew what heaven was planning. The darkness saw what was written about you and trembled. And that's why everything suddenly went silent. That's why people walked away. That's why you felt like giving up, because your miracle was closer than it had ever been. And the enemy always attacks what is rising, but guess what? You survived. You're still here. And your miracle is not canceled. It's now rushing toward you like a flood of light. Heaven is restoring everything the enemy tried to bury, but only if you choose to receive it before the door closes. My child, my beloved, this isn't just a message. This is a visitation. I'm not just writing to you. I'm standing next to you now in the spirit. I am watching over your room, your family, your thoughts, your fears. And I am speaking into the space where you have been hurting silently. You don't have to act strong anymore. You don't have to carry this alone. For too long you've been the one others lean on. For too long you've been smiling while your heart quietly breaks. For too long you've been questioning whether anyone truly sees what you go through. I see it. God sees it. And tonight, yes, tonight you will be lifted. There is no delay left in your spirit. The heavens are removing every obstacle between you and what belongs to you. But you must believe this with your whole heart. Not halfway, not casually, fully. Because heaven only gives at the level of your surrender. Are you ready to receive what was once impossible? There is someone in your life who will be shocked by what God is about to do for you. They counted you out. They thought your best season had already passed. They looked at your struggle and assumed it was the end. But they did not see what God saw. They didn't know you were being tested, refined, prepared. They didn't know you were about to rise, not just emotionally, but spiritually, financially, and relationally. They didn't know that while they laughed behind closed doors, heaven was preparing your coronation. Yes, child, coronation. You are not just being restored. You are being crowned. You will walk in a kind of favor that cannot be explained. And those who thought you were small will witness how large your name becomes. But you must obey. You must not doubt. And above all, you must not skip this divine hour. My child, my beloved, a gift is being wrapped in the unseen. A letter is being delivered to the earth from heaven's post. It has your name on it. Inside that letter is something you prayed for long ago and forgot. Something you gave up on. Something you thought was lost forever. But God never forgot. Heaven archives every word you've ever spoken in faith. Every tear you cried in secret was collected in golden bottles, and now those bottles are tipping. Now the overflow is being released. I am trembling even as I deliver this because I know what happens when a chosen one says yes. At the right time. I have seen lives transform overnight. I have seen the sick healed, the abandoned chosen, the forgotten favored all in one night. And I have never seen a divine alignment quite like this one. You right now are standing at the edge of something irreversible. And if you cross this line, your life will be marked by the miraculous forever. My child, my beloved, heaven does not cry often. But tonight, I saw tears fall, and they were not tears of sorrow. They were tears of waiting. Waiting for you to believe again. Waiting for you to step into what has already been prepared. You see, your miracle is not being made. It's already finished. It is already formed. It is already glowing with your name inscribed in golden fire. But heaven cannot hand it to you until your spirit says yes, until your heart opens fully. There are blessings in your life that have circled, and circled and circled, unable to land. Because every time they come near, your fear speaks louder than your faith. But tonight is different. This night is drenched in holy oil. This moment is saturated with favor. And child, if you let this pass again, I don't know when the alignment will return. I am not saying this to scare you. I am saying this to awaken you. Because too many times you've asked heaven for a sign, and this is it. My beloved, there is a sound in the heavenly realm, and it's growing louder by the second. It's the sound of your name being whispered through the corridors of angels. It is the sound of chains breaking quietly. It is the sound of a scroll unrolling. Your scroll. And do you know what's written on it? Restoration, restitution, redemption, release. These are not just words. These are sacred assignments. And one of those assignments is you. You have an angel assigned to your breakthrough. You have an army watching over your calling. But all of heaven pauses now, waiting for your response. You are not too late. You are not too far. You have not missed your chance. But the window is open now, and it will not stay open forever. Tonight has been set apart. Heaven has marked this hour with urgency and promise. If you open yourself to it now, you will remember this night for the rest of your life. My child, my beloved, there are people who looked at your journey and quietly judged you. They thought you were cursed. They said nothing ever works for them. Some pitted you. Others mocked you, and a few simply disappeared. But none of them knew the truth. None of them saw what I saw. None of them witnessed the spiritual battles you won in silence. But now they will see what it looks like when heaven rewards a faithful soul. They will see what happens when divine reversal begins. The same mouths that doubted you will one day say, "Only God could have done this." The same doors that shut in your face will call you back with desperation. The same tears you cried in private will become rivers of testimony, and the season of almost will become the season of overflow. But child, it all begins with one decision tonight. Will you accept what God has been trying to give you this entire time? My beloved, my child, my beloved, there are people who looked at your journey and quietly judged you. They thought you were cursed. They said nothing ever works for them. Some pitied you, others mocked you, and a few simply disappeared. But none of them knew the truth. None of them saw what I saw. None of them witnessed the spiritual battles you won in silence. But now they will see what it looks like. When heaven rewards a faithful soul, they will see what happens when divine reversal begins. The same mouths that doubted you will one day say, "Only God could have done this." The same doors that shut in your face will call you back with desperation. The same tears you cried in private will become rivers of testimony, and the season of almost will become the season of overflow. But child, it all begins with one decision tonight. Will you accept what God has been trying to give you this entire time? My beloved, there is something I must reveal, something sacred, something hidden. There is a room in the heavenly realm that very few ever see. It is called the Vault of Delayed Blessings, and inside it are gifts, boxes wrapped in light, some covered in dust. These are blessings that were meant for people but were never claimed because they gave up. They walked away. They let doubt take over at the final moment. And tonight I was shown that one of the brightest boxes there has your name on it. But it is not sealed yet. It is still available. It is still pulsing with your frequency. Heaven is ready to deliver it, but not by force. God never forces miracles, He offers them. And tonight the offer has been extended one more time. This night was chosen. You were led here. This is not entertainment. This is not coincidence. This is prophecy, and I am speaking directly to your heart. My child, my beloved, do you feel the burning in your chest, the flutter in your soul? That is not anxiety. That is recognition. Your spirit remembers this sound. It remembers the voice of angels. It remembers what heaven feels like. And that's why you cannot scroll away. That's why your hands are trembling slightly, because you are being pulled into your own divine appointment. A destiny moment, one that was spoken over you long before you ever took your first breath. Your family may not know who you are. Your friends may not recognize your calling, but heaven knows. And it is time for you to rise. It is time to leave behind the fear, the shame, the brokenness, the stories others wrote for you. God is rewriting your chapter, and the pen is moving as we speak. But you must let Him finish the sentence. Don't interrupt the miracle with doubt. Don't silence the divine whisper with logic. This is not the time to be reasonable. This is the time to be radical. This is the time to say, "I believe," even when it doesn't make sense. My beloved, I will not stop speaking until your spirit understands how serious this is. There are angelic forces moving right now in your atmosphere. I see them clearing the air around your home. I see the veil thinning over your situation. I see a crack in the problem that once seemed unshakable. And through that crack, light is pouring in. I see a relationship being restored. I see a financial transfer being scheduled. I see medical reports being rewritten. I see an unexpected opportunity knocking. One that bypasses your qualifications and chooses you simply because God said that one is mine. This is the miracle that has been hunting you. This is the moment you were not supposed to miss. And tonight is your answer. Tonight, something sacred is being written in the heavens, and I want you to understand how rare this moment is. Not every night carries this weight. Not every prayer is responded to in such power. But this night, this exact night, was set aside before time began. The coordinates of your soul have aligned with the decree of heaven, and the trumpet has sounded for your release. There's no longer a delay. There's no longer a blockage. There's no longer confusion about your next step. The light is pouring through and your name is being spoken in places your feet have not even reached yet. Yes, doors are about to open in rooms you've never entered. Yes, conversations are being had about you without you even knowing it. And yes, the favor that once seemed impossible is now chasing after you like a rushing wind. But child, this is not automatic. You must claim it. You must spiritually open the envelope God has placed in front of your soul. That's why this message found you. That's why your heart is racing. That's why you feel like something is coming, because it is. My beloved, do you not see it yet? Do you not feel how real this is? The realm of heaven is not far from you. It is surrounding you. And while others are sleeping, distracted by the noise of the world, you are being invited into something eternal. I have seen miracles delayed because someone didn't respond in time, and I have seen miracles accelerated in those who said yes with trembling hands. Tonight, if you whisper a quiet yes from your soul, all of heaven will respond. The angels will begin to move faster. The chains that once clung to your ankles will melt away. The cycles that repeated for generations in your bloodline, poverty, heartbreak, rejection, will begin to snap like dry branches in the fire. I'm not offering fantasy. I'm delivering prophecy. And I am telling you, this moment carries fire. This moment carries finality. This moment carries the fingerprint of God. My child, my beloved, you were not born to survive. You were born to ascend, to rise above every limitation placed on your name. You were born to carry light even in the darkest rooms. And tonight, heaven is reminding you of who you really are. Not who they said you were. Not what your past tried to define, but who you were before the world touched you. You are royalty. You are chosen. You are the one who was hidden, not because you were forgotten, but because you were being preserved. God was not denying you. He was protecting you. And now that the threat has passed, now that your faith has matured, he says, release the blessing. Let it be done. My child, my beloved, you were not born to survive. You were born to ascend, to rise above every limitation placed on your name. You were born to carry light even in the darkest rooms. And tonight, heaven is reminding you of who you really are. Not who they said you were, not what your past tried to define, but who you were before the world touched you. You are royalty, you are chosen, you are the one who was hidden, not because you were forgotten, but because you were being preserved. God was not denying you. He was protecting you. And now that the threat has passed, now that your faith has matured, he says, release the blessing. Let it be done. There is a sound only your spirit can hear right now. It's the sound of angel wings brushing against the barriers around your heart. It's the sound of heaven leaning closer. God does not shout. He whispers. And his whisper is reaching your soul. Will you answer it? Will you accept what is yours before it passes? Too many of my children have walked away at the final hour. They were one prayer away, one act of faith away, one moment of staying open just a little longer. And then they left. They scrolled. They turned their eyes elsewhere. And the miracle, the one with their name on it, was returned to the vaults of heaven. Please, my beloved, don't let that happen to you. Not again. Not after all you've endured. My beloved, there's someone who broke your heart, someone you trusted, and their betrayal has kept you in spiritual limbo. But I need you to hear me. They do not control your future. Their actions did not erase your calling. Their silence did not undo your value. Heaven is not interested in who left you. Heaven is focused on who stayed. And I stayed. Your angel stayed. God stayed. And now something better than what you lost is being prepared for you. A new connection, a healed friendship, a powerful restoration. And it's not coming with lies or pain. It's coming with joy. But the miracle is fragile. It needs your faith to land. You must water it with belief. You must shelter it with expectation. If you do, it will bloom in ways you've never seen before. My child, my beloved, your home is about to feel different. The atmosphere is changing. You may begin to feel warmth, chills, or sudden peace in certain rooms. That's because I've entered. That's because the angels are surrounding the spaces where you once cried. I see you lying awake at night, questioning the path, asking heaven, did I miss something? And tonight I've come to answer, No, you didn't miss it. It's still yours. It's still coming. But this is the final invitation, the final moment. The countdown has started. And once it reaches its final second, heaven must shift its focus. That is why I am pleading not from a place of desperation but from a place of urgency. You were not meant to live a normal life. You were meant to walk in the supernatural. Beloved, even now I see a figure watching over you, an ancestor, a soul who left this world but still prays for you from the realm of light. They are standing beside me. They are smiling. Their hands are stretched toward you. They've seen the full picture. They know what's waiting for you. And they are interceding right now. They are saying, please don't give up. Please take this. Please believe again. And I am echoing their voice. I am placing my sword between you and the enemy. I am drawing a line in the darkness cannot cross. But you, beloved, must walk forward. Even if your knees are trembling, even if your voice shakes, walk. The miracle is just steps away. It is not behind you. It is not with the ones who left. It is ahead of you waiting. My child, my beloved, there are blessings that run. And then there are blessings that wait. Yours has been waiting. Not because you weren't ready, but because the world around you wasn't prepared to witness what's about to be revealed. When heaven chooses to elevate someone, there's a ripple that touches everything. Your family, your finances, your friendships, your favor. That's why it took so long. That's why things move slower than your prayers. Because this miracle isn't just about you. It's about the people who will be changed through you. The healing that will flow out of your testimony. The lives that will be redirected because of your rising. And now heaven has determined it is safe to release it. The foundation is firm. The air is clear, and the seal is broken. Your name is echoing through the hallways of heaven, and the angelic hosts are moving to deliver what has been hidden in the spirit. But child, you must stay present. Do not allow distraction to steal what generations have been waiting for. This is the night. This is the hour. This is the gate, wide open and glowing with light. My beloved, there are no coincidences when it comes to the timing of heaven. The very moment you opened this message, something shifted in your atmosphere. Don't you feel it? That sudden stillness, that deep stir in your chest, that breath you didn't realize you were holding. That's because your spirit recognizes truth faster than your mind does. Your soul remembers what your eyes have not seen yet. And tonight your soul knows this moment is real. This message is not just content, it is a living frequency. A sacred signal sent directly to your heart to remind you that you have never been alone. Not once. Even in the darkest hour. Even when it felt like no one understood. Even when your bed felt colder than usual and your phone was silent for days. We were there. I was there. And tonight, I have not come empty-handed. I come with keys. I come with scrolls. I come with divine instructions to deliver to you that which was locked away in light for this very moment. My child, my beloved, someone once told you that you were too much, too emotional, too intense, too soft, too spiritual. But those words weren't truth. They were projections. You were never too much. You were just too divine for small minds to understand. You were made for more. You were made with fire in your voice and gold in your bones. You were not born to blend in. You were born to rise. And that is exactly why the last season broke you the way it did. It had to test your wings. It had to teach you to hear the whisper of God even when the wind was loud. And now, because you listened, because you didn't give up, you are being rewarded. Not with scraps, not with second chances, but with something entirely new. A blessing so perfect it will feel like it was sculpted from the deepest part of your prayers. And it was my beloved, my child. My beloved. Someone once told you that you were too much, too emotional, too intense, too soft, too spiritual. But those words weren't truth. They were projections. You were never too much. You were just too divine for small minds to understand. You were made for more. You were made with fire in your voice and gold in your bones. You were not born to blend in. You were born to rise. And that is exactly why the last season broke you the way it did. It had to test your wings. It had to teach you to hear the whisper of God, even when the wind was loud. And now, because you listened, because you didn't give up, you are being rewarded. Not with scraps, not with second chances, but with something entirely new. A blessing so perfect, it will feel like it was sculpted from the deepest part of your prayers. And it was, my beloved, there's someone coming to you. Someone whose heart has been stirred. Someone who sees you differently now. They've had dreams about you. They've heard your name even when no one said it. And they've been searching, waiting, wondering if they'd ever be allowed to speak the truth. This connection is not ordinary. It's a soul contract, a divine promise made long ago, and it is now being reactivated. You will recognize it when it arrives. Not because of what they say, but because of how your soul feels in their presence, calm, safe, familiar. But this connection can only activate if your heart is open, if you are present, if you are awake. That's why heaven is begging you, don't walk away from this moment. This is the night that decides what the next decade of your life looks like. This is the night that heaven wrote in gold ink, divine intervention. My child, my beloved, do not think for a second that you are behind. The enemy has been whispering that lie for years. You're too late. You've missed too much. You've wasted time. But that voice is not from God. God does not shame his children. He restores them. And what you think is delay, God calls divine protection. There were people, places, and paths that looked right but would have ended in pain. And God blocked them. Even when you cried over them, even when you begged to go that way, he closed the door because he saw what you could not. And now he's opening something better. Something safe. Something sacred. But you have to trust him again. You have to surrender the pain. You have to stop holding on to what already let go of you. The miracle won't arrive if your hands are still full of yesterday's ashes. My beloved, there is oil on your name. An anointing so rare that even the darkness knows not to touch you directly. That's why the attacks have been indirect through people, through systems, through your own mind. But they could never destroy you. And now they can't even find you because you are about to be hidden, in favor. God is about to place a veil of divine protection over your next steps. Those who once tracked your every move will be blinded. Those who spoke against you will be silenced. And those who laughed at you will wonder how the one they dismissed became the one they now admire. But you must walk with grace. You must carry this miracle with maturity. You must not gloat, but give glory, because this miracle isn't just for you. It's for everyone who will be inspired by your story. My child, my beloved, you are entering into something holy. You are not just crossing into a new chapter. You're walking into a new identity. Who you were is no longer who you are, and who you are is not yet who you will be. You are in the divine in between, a threshold, a corridor between the old and the new. And it is narrow, it is sacred, it is short, and if you blink, you might miss the opening. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm pleading. That's why heaven has paused everything else, because this moment, this one has been marked with your name and sealed with heaven's fire. My child, my beloved, you were never forgotten. I need you to hear that with the deepest part of your spirit, because for too long you've carried the ache of being invisible. You gave, you waited, you believed, and still it felt like heaven was silent. You looked around and saw others being blessed. You wondered if maybe you were skipped, but you weren't. You were set aside, not because you were unworthy, but because what heaven was preparing for you required time, layers, and protection. It was never about delay. It was about design. You are not someone who will receive what is common. You are someone God marked for the extraordinary. And now that the clock has struck this sacred hour, the vault that held your name is finally unlocking. The miracle was not denied, it was being guarded, and tonight it is being released. My beloved, there is a storm you've been walking through silently, one that no one around you fully sees. You've worn strength like armor, but inside you've been weary, exhausted, questioning how much longer you can keep standing. But I was sent to tell you this. The storm is ending. The spiritual weather is changing. The skies that felt so heavy are about to open with light. And not just any light, a glory light. One that announces your emergence, your healing, your comeback. You are not coming out of this empty-handed. You are coming out with treasures that could only be found in the valley. People will look at you and see only the surface, but heaven will see the roots that were planted in the soil of pain and the harvest that now must bloom. I saw the angels tending your soul like a garden. They wept when you wept. They fought for you when you had no strength to pray. And now they are rejoicing because the winds are shifting and your miracle is rising. My child, my beloved, a page is turning in your life that no one can stop. Even if people around you try to keep you small, even if they still speak to the old version of you, even if they doubt, mock, or minimize you, none of it can hold back what heaven is about to do. This next chapter will not require their approval. It will not wait for their permission. It is between you and the Most High. And I, Archangel Michael, have been given divine permission to walk beside you as it unfolds. But there is a warning in my heart. If you keep trying to explain your calling to those who refuse to listen, you may delay the miracle that is already moving toward you. It's time to stop shrinking. It's time to stop waiting for them to understand. The calling on your life is louder than their doubt, and the anointing on your name is heavier than their silence. Step boldly. Step now, because the path will appear the moment you decide to walk, my beloved. Amen.